In the season where every minute matters, the good doctor's Red Devils can't afford another slip-up. Marwan Kukash's demand in 2015 is simple: a place in the top 8 for the most talked-about team in the Super League. Diofage is there! Can Saints' big pack match it up front with some of the toughest forwards around? Gareth Hock and company will look to bully the Saints forwards, for whom Alex Walmsley already looks like an England star of the future. Rangi Chase is hoping to torment the champions, while Travis Burns showed up well on his debut, and he looks to continue where he left off and spoil Salford's party. There's the match for Saints. And so, will it be Chase or Burns who comes out on top tonight? This promises to be a corker of a game, and not many people are predicting a repeat of the scoreline here between the two this time last year, when Saints engulfed the Red Devils and won 38-0. OK then, let's take a look at the teams. They line up like this. What a boost for Salford in that New Zealand international test star Kevin Locke is fit to play. He missed last week's defeat at Warrington. New boy Ben Jones-Bishop, another big money signing from Leeds, scored twice on his debut last week, looks set to pick up where he left off. Another significant change: Michael Dobson starts, having been subbed for the first time in his career last week. This is a big mobile pack, and you can expect prop forward Scott Taylor, a close season loan signing from Wigan, and of course the enigmatic Gareth Hock to be right in the forefront of the battle. On the bench, Lamataze missed out last week. Expect more fireworks when he gets the nod from coach Justin Harris to enter the fray. Now the Saints, and not just this match but also the World Club Challenge against South Sydney, is bound to be uppermost in their mind. Will that be a distraction? We'll have to wait and see. Same backline as last week. Luke Walsh not ready to come back. John Wilkin continues to deputise at half-back. Up front, changes. Mossy Massoy was a substitute last week. He starts here, and Mark Flanagan's industry and belligerence is expected to upset the big pack of Salford's forwards. No one was more delighted than Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook to win the grand final last October. Louis makes his first appearance this season off the bench, and young Andre Savelio scored his first ever Super League try in last week's win against the Catalan Dragons. So it's a cool, chilly night, but the pitch in magnificent order, and the Red Devils just having their last few words together before taking on the champions here at the AJ Bell Stadium. And there are Saints in their light blue jumpers this evening. Change strip, of course, from what we saw last week against the Catalan Dragons. Champions, they lost 5 away games last year, and a big night for Sean Long back here at the AJ Bell Stadium. He was on Justin Harris's coaching register this time last year, and he is here tonight, of course, assisting Kieran Cunningham. Big crowd. They finished 10th last year, did Salford. Owner Marwan Kukash was so disappointed he cancelled their end of season awards night. Yet, you know, it was their best effort since winning promotion in 2008. The pressure is on Justin Harris to produce a team here this year that will make the top 8 at least. If they're to avoid dropping into the middle 8 after 20 rounds, that's exactly what they must do. They must produce their highest Super League finish since Carl Harrison guided them to 5th place and the playoffs in 2006. So the two sides will emerge together. Harrison Hansen, the new Salford skipper this year. John Wilkin, the new captain of the Saints. And out they come. And it's a mouth-watering match, this, Steve-O. It really is. Big money, Salford. Huge signings against the champions. Can't come much better than this, surely.
No, and Justin Harris is fully aware, and also the Salford players. They know deep down inside that they have got to produce this year. They've had some good signings, none better than Michael Dobson. We've seen over the years when Dobson with Hulkinson Rovers, his amazing ability to create the opening, the final little pass, and keep your eye out for the combination of Kevin Locke, the Salford fullback, chiming into that three-quarter line, and you can guarantee that Michael Dobson will be giving him the ace ball to make the progress. But St. Helens, they've also got their wonderful new addition, Travis Burns, will also, against Catalan. We saw that Johnny Lomax really did enjoy the fact that the new standoff was very creative indeed. And when you look through the three-quarter lines on either side, Johnson, Griffin, Caton Brown, Jones, Bishop, Makinson, Turner, Percival and Swift. Boy, Swift says it all. They're all fast. This should be a cracker. But I'd say the three quarters, they've got plenty of pace. It's in the forwards where it's going to be hot tonight.
And I think the match referee, Ben Thaler, knows that full well. This could be a feisty 80 minutes. Salford Red Devils showed up last week at Warrington. They only lost the second half 10-8. We've already seen some highlights of that match in the build-up to this game. And they really did get stuck into Warrington, led by Gareth Hock. And Ben Jones-Bishop, he came up with 2 tries on his debut. He's a flyer. They signed him for big money from the Leeds Rhinos, and he could make the difference out wide. So here we go. Salford in red against the Saints in light blue predominantly tonight. Salford Red Devils attacking from left to right as we watch. The pitch is flat, it's cold, it's chilly, but this is the Super League. Round 2 is underway.
And you can guarantee that the Red Devils are very happy with the fact that they will be doing the defending first. And look at that, they had no less than 5 players involved. They will get into the faces. It's important that St. Helens get into some sort of rhythm very quickly indeed. Remember last week against Catalan, St. Helens, their indiscipline, allowed the French side to nearly get back into the game.
Roby, 65 tackles under his belt last week. He was the dummy half. Here is Travis Burns now. He eludes 2 would-be challengers, goes up the middle, meets Gareth Hock head on, and then brought down by Scott Taylor and Tommy Lee. And the pressure from Lee on the kicker, Wilkin, was immense. And this is Kevin Locke, who will bring the ball back for the Red Devils.
Great work by Tommy Lee there. Realises that's a job. Justin Harris, the Salford coach, made it quite clear that you've got to apply that pressure. And you could see that it was a poor kick in the end, and it's allowed the Red Devils to get into a pretty good situation. Be interesting to see whether Rangi Chase works out wide and maybe Michael Dobson controlling things.
Well, this is the 4th season. They're beginning at the AJ Bell Stadium. The Red Devils, they're seeking their first win of 2015, of course. The referee wipes the tackle count down here, and so it's back to 0 as the ball is taken forward by Scott Taylor.
Yeah, it looked as though Travis Burns took the ball away and then lost it. That's the reason why Ben Thaler said, let's have another 6.
And Chase was thinking about getting the ball away, but then Joe Greenwood got to him quickly, but he still manages to release the pass. And this is Tommy Lee.
Rangi Chase will be furious at that. You need someone to be looking out all the time when Chase has the football. You just do not know when he's going to offload. What a great offload from Hock!
Yes, Gareth Hock got the ball away, and that is Kevin Locke, and he got so close. Bit of a mix-up at dummy half. Rangi Chase eventually takes over. Left foot kick into the in-goal area. That is too strong.
The idea, brilliant. But what about the offload from Gareth Hock? Boy, we've seen over the years a tempestuous attitude, but I'll tell you something. He has got great ability. Look at this. This will just split any defence in the world, not just in Super League.
Well, we've only been playing for 2 minutes, but it's pretty clear watching that Salford have got enough players to create attacking opportunities. The bigger question is whether they can defend well enough. In the first minute, they missed 1 or 2 tackles. That could have almost been a penalty there for a high tackle. And it's their ability to match the speed with which St. Helens start this game and play the ball that'll determine, I think, how they go in the first 40.
Well, I'm with you, Phil. I'm surprised that that was not given as a penalty. That was very, very high indeed.
It was a bit high. Ben Thaler said, watch the tackles. He gave the Red Devils a warning on the run. Here is Locke again, and he just gives the ball then to Greg Johnson. He's 25 next Friday is Greg Johnson. And now it's with Griffin. That's Josh Griffin, one of 3 Griffin brothers in the Salford camp. Darrell on the bench tonight. George is also here at the AJ Bell Stadium. And Taylor taking the ball forward. On loan signing from Wigan is Scott Taylor. In the England training squad, you might remember early in 2014, his season just petered out a bit, so he's looking to almost reinvent himself here, the former Hull Kingston Rovers prop forward. Now Gareth Hock.
Pretty good referee in there by Ben Thaler. The loose forward, Corey Patterson, tried to con him into thinking that he'd been pulled down just as he was about to play the ball. That's good pressure on Dobson.
Dobson's kick straight into the arms of Tommy Makinson. Some ground for Makinson to make up, and he gets the ball forward 10 or 15 metres. Ben Jones-Bishop in there pretty quickly as well, and Corey Patterson is struggling with a bit of a knock. He's limping his way back into the defensive line here.
Eddie, Corey Patterson was really impressive last week. Very combative, competitive, and John Wells used a beautiful expression to let the game breathe, and I think that the referee has come into this with the attitude, let the forwards sort one another out. There's some competitive, combative players on both sides. I think probably the aggression of the Salford side is a little bit higher, but they need to control that, and that's what Iestyn Harris alluded to.
Barry McDermott with an English dictionary for dinner, I think, today. All the C's.
More of thesaurus, I thought, Eddie.
Wilkin gets the ball away to Lomax. He loses it forward there in the collision.
It wasn't not a knock on. He got a boot to it before he did down. Oh, he's going to put the scrum down.
No, he's given a penalty. He's given Salford a penalty because Salford were, St Helens rather, were ahead of the ball, I think. Is that right, Stuart?
Yeah, that's what he's given for. He was knocked forward. The man who knocked it on was tackled, so he could never get in front of him. So he's penalised the players for being offside.
Did well to get the boot in eventually, but you can see that there was quite a few of them.
Joe Greenwood, I think, the man who was penalised. This is Rangi Chase now. He gives it to Gareth Hock. Another great offload from Hock to Chase again. Dobson spins it wide to Harrison Hansen. He was looking for a short ball and decided in the end to take the tackle. The first one, they've made 2 metres gain, and they're 40 metres away here from the St Helens line. Taylor again will trundle the ball forward for the men in red, the Red Devils of Salford. Tommy Lee. Lee then to Dobson. Dobson, well, he looked to get the ball away to Locke. He couldn't find him. He found Mason Caton Brown, and Caton Brown couldn't pick the ball up cleanly enough.
Well, it's very rare to see that from Michael Dobson. Just a little bit over anxious. He was looking to see that Locke was coming through. He was a little bit late there. Just
really good. Both teams. Let's just make sure holding the 10.
Lost the plot slightly. Good opportunity, but in the opening 6 minutes, you sort of get this feeling that last season Salford promised a lot, didn't really achieve much, but I know it's only 6 minutes into this game, but they really have impressed me.
Makinson taking the ball forward. Roby again is the dummy half. Here's Kyle Amor. Gets them almost to halfway. Marwan Kukash just popped his head into the studio just before kick-off. Had a word with Steve and I asked if he fancied a drink. Steve-O took the large gin and tonic. I had a glass of water.
You shouldn't tell lies on your birthday, Eddie. And this is a big error. Look, at this level, you can't take your eyes off the football.
Steve, that's Gareth Hock right in the eye line of a Televate. He knows that Gareth Hock, another person that loves the physicality of the game. I think it's a great move to put him in the middle, a middle unit player. Although he's got 13 on his back, he's playing at prop. That's a role he'd be very familiar with. Offloads already, we've seen a couple of them.
Well, when you think about the fact that he is playing prop, it means that he doesn't have to do too much running out wide in defence, as he would do playing as a loose forward. He knows he can stay in the middle. We've already seen 2 wonderful offloads. I think he's a prop. That's it. End of story from here on in.
Corey Patterson looks like he's shaken off that early injury. Lee gets the ball away to Chase. He gets it away to Dobson. And he found his skipper Hansen. There's Kieran Cunningham, the St Helens coach. Flying start for him last weekend as well, of course, not only for his team, but for his career as the new head coach at St Helens. Massive job coming into a team that begin the season as defending champions. And you got a rubber stamp from every St Helens supporter we spoke to on Boots and All last night in our feature about the two of them. They love him at St Helens. And they, of course, got a statue to him outside the ground. High kick here, though, from Dobson. Well claimed by Makinson. He was tackled in the air, though.
Yeah, but it was a pressure kick, wasn't it, by Michael Dobson? That's the one thing that is expert. Oh, beautiful take, wasn't it? No doubt about it. Taken out by Harrison Hansen. Well, really got to him before any chance.
I think Hansen was trying his best not to tackle him, but he just ended up underneath him.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, his hands down by his side, pleading innocence. And it's going to be interesting to see how the half-backs today for Salford, Chase and Dobson, dovetail and fade in and out. When one wants the dominant ball and he wants that pass, will he get it or will it go to the other side? Rangi Chase have been, of course, been at Salford, established himself. Michael Dobson trying to find his place in the team.
Little fumble from Burns, but he manages to get it away to Lomax. He's halted by Josh Griffin.
That's the second time we've seen Lomax come into the three-quarter line. The problem is he's coming in early and he's taking the ball completely flat. He's got to give himself at least 3 or 4 meters so he can get the wind up, get a bit of speed behind him. Take nothing away from the Salford defence, so they're moving up pretty quickly.
And here comes Mason Caton-Brown again for the Red Devils. 4 tries in 3 appearances last year since joining from London.
Eddie, I think this is a really significant 60 seconds. Salford just seem to have hit the wall. A lot of the players there now walking back here. How far they get with these drives, there's just a moment here now where they've been running very hard and fast for almost 10 minutes. And Saints are happy with the pace. Can Salford match it and stick at this level?
Tommy Lee, the Salford supporters screaming for a penalty because there was a bit of holding down, but referee Ben Thaler was happy enough. This is Ben Jones Bishop. I can tell you're at a rugby league game in 2015 when we have three-barreled namees on the show: Mason Caton-Brown, Ben Jones Bishop, Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. Such is the modern game. That's a great ball from Johnny Lomax. And away goes Adam Swift, and that's a very good tackle by Greg Johnson.
It had to be as well. Had a second spring at him. This is good work. Jordan Turner taking it up. This is a real great position now for the Saints. This is the first real opportunity. Will they bring in Lomax?
Burns gets it away to Percival. Percival goes in between 2, and Percival will get over in the corner for St Helens. Well, they've weathered the storm for 10 minutes. They took everything that Salford could throw at them. And on his 30th St Helens appearance, 20-year-old Mark Percival over for the first try of the match. They've soaked the pressure up like a sponge, St Helens, and they have broken forward and they have scored the first try of the match.
The build-up by the fullback Johnny Lomax sucked them through. Look at Swift in and out. This is sensational. They got back, but then you've got to make sure. Johnson tried to slow them down, but the link was superb. Oh, this is outstanding stuff. You've got to go low. It was a nice fend-off, wasn't it? Percival opens the scoring. Tremendous stuff. Great ability.
Well, Brian and John Wells, before the game, talked about how compressed the Salford defensive line was. And on that occasion, it was stretched over on their right, and then the ball went all the way over to the other side. And Percival, with a nice show and go, created a 2-on-1 with the winger, who had an impossible decision to make. And Percival, as he's done on many occasions, took the right option and dabs down for the first try.
Well, Travis Burns lining up the conversion attempt here. They went with Percival last week, and they also went with Makinson, but it's Travis Burns tonight. Phil, you saw that try coming from what you were saying 60 seconds ago.
Well, there's just an element of fatigue, I think, with 1 or 2 of the Salford players not moving as quickly as the Saints. And what the best sides do in football and rugby in this country is they sense when their opponents are on the knees. There was just a chance, and something. I mean, there was no communication between the St Helens players, but when they received that kick downfield, they knew there was an opportunity here to strike from deep, which they did. First down the left-hand side, then shifting the ball wide to the right. Mark Percival, well, he had a great game here almost 12 months ago when he scored 2 tries, and it looks as though this one started just as well.
Travis Burns has missed with the kick, as you've probably seen, and the Saints have a 4-point lead.
Well, Justin Harris perhaps be a little bit disappointed with the defensive effort by the centre, Mason Caton-Brown. He really should have gone low. He knew that. Percival fend off was outstanding. And boy, what a start to the season this guy's having. Kyle Amort, but they're pushing him back. He's big and uncompromising.
Well, in a season when every minute matters, you just cannot afford to lose your opening 2 games of the campaign. And St Helens know how important this game is to them, Super League-wise. So too does Salford. Oh, that's a forward pass that's been called by the referee.
It's a real shame that, Eddie. What a beautiful line from young Greenwood. Joe Greenwood cuts back behind the back of the player the ball,
Well, I'm not
And
so
a
sure.
nice offload.
There's nothing wrong
Let it
with
go.
that.
Let it go. That's a wonderful offload. Difficult to tell from this angle, of course.
Well, it was difficult to tell for Ben Taylor. He was about 3 metres in front. And to me, there's nothing wrong with this at all.
Stuart, did the
This
call
is
come from the
superb.
side? Was the call from the sideline?
No, that's come from Ben Taylor. He's got in that awkward position where he's directly in front of the play. The ball's passed across him, which is always difficult for a referee.
Well, one error, and it can prove very, very costly because it looked as though they had the numbers Saints there. They were disappointed. Relief, of course, by Salford. They've got to steady things down a little bit.
Harrison Hansen takes the ball forward. 5 tries last year, including a couple in the last 3 games of the campaign. And the double with Wigan, of course, in 2013.
Well, the Reds need to find some quicker play the balls then. If you look at these collisions, it's brilliant technique by St Helens. 3 men in a tackle, controlling it out there. They're all back and set. When Salford play the ball, it's not with the speed with which the Saints do, and basically that does determine very often who wins the match.
You're right, Phil, because the player that's been tackled, he really needs to come a little bit quicker than that. That'll be the knock-on. Nice little dummy runner. It was a delayed pass, just couldn't take it. Hansen knows how important that is, but you're certainly spot on, Phil, in regards to the fact that this Salford outfit, when they get they're submitting, but they're not wanting to get on with the game. They've got to get up a lot quicker.
Mistake then from Harrison Hansen, the New Zealand and Samoan international. And Saints try to come forward, but Salford seeing to it that they don't, courtesy of Jordan Wong and Corey Patterson. Oh, there's a mistake from St Helens now. Jordan Turner putting the ball down and knock on.
And it all comes about by just having a little bit of a look. And he knows it, does Turner. Just had a look at it. You could see that Griffin was coming right into his face. It's not easy, but at this level, they should be able to hold on to it.
But for a side like Salford, who we know last season finished 10 places below St Helens, they need to start with some more confidence, and they get confidence by scoring points here. They won't get that many opportunities in this game to start 6th place, so close to St Helens try line. I do feel, Eddie, that they will have to take one of these.
Lee gets the ball to Patterson.
Looking to get away with that play. The ball looked a bit as though he may have lost control of it.
Patterson had a year at Hull KR in 2013, back in Super League from the NRL. It was a big hit that on Rangi Chase. There's a first knock on though, I think, by the Saints.
Just not quite there with those. They're familiar. If you're a Wigan fan, you've seen those shapes time after time, and Salford working on that same formula. Have a player and an option at the front door. It goes out to the back door. Rangi Chase. Did that hit Saints' hand, Stuart?
Knock on by Saints. It's Salford hidden feed.
Joe Greenwood got the fingertip to it. Well, the utilisation of the dummy runner is pretty good.
Another golden opportunity then for the Red Devils here. Harrison Hansen brought to ground by a Televay. Tommy Lee will play the ball. Here goes Corey Patterson again. And they're offside, St Helens on their own line. The referee was screaming at them, telling them to get back. They didn't heed the call. So a penalty to Salford, and pressure growing on this St Helens line. Scott Taylor will take the ball forward, and of course they are the posts that Saints are defending. Lee gets the ball back. Dobson with a long pass and a wasted ball out wide to Ben Jones-Bishop. Well, you can't afford to squander opportunities like that against St Helens. Well, and Dobson has just done exactly that.
Well, he's furious, Eddie, because the winger should be where he should be, right out on the wing.
Steve, I'm not sure they need to score. Obviously, they want to pour some points, but keep hold of the ball. Spend some time down here, make St Helens defend their own line, and Dobson can shake his head all he wants. I think that was a poor decision.
Well, I'm not so sure. I reckon that Dobson realised if the winger had stayed in that position, which is way out on the wing. Oh, another great run.
Great break away here once again by Joe Greenwood.
What a game he's having.
Yes, he's got St Helens to within 10 metres inside their own half. Let's get downstairs. Bill's got news on Corey Patterson.
Yeah, he's been doing it tough this first half. Early on, he got a bang on the knee and was signalling frantically to the sidelines. The suggestion was that he was going to have to come off. He's managed to stay on the field, has run that one off. He now appears to have picked up a bang on his left shoulder, and his left arm is virtually useless at the moment.
Fantastic ball finds a Televay. He scored last week. He's looking to score 2 weeks on the run. And in the end, the Salford defence scrambles its way back and brings him down. But this is a golden opportunity for Saints to add to the tally here. And the ball across the front of the defence to Greenwood. Here is Turner, and Turner goes in for a second St Helens try against his former club, of course. 20th consecutive appearance for the Saints. Try last week, a try this week. 3 years at Salford. He's come back tonight and he's haunting them, and that's the second St Helens try. They lead by 8 points to 0, and the kick to come.
Tremendous break by Joe Greenwood yet again. We mentioned the fact he's having a wow of a game. Watch this. Look how to get through it. Lovely little ball there and get straight. You can see that the defence was all over the job. Televay, too strong, and watch the difference. Right, get on with it. Get on with it. Get up with it. This is just superb three-quarter play. 2-on-1, through the dummy, Turner in for the try.
Clinical decisions here from St Helens. Made the most of the break from Wenger. And the spaces aren't always on the edge, aren't always on the outside. And Michael Dobson obviously gives possession away. And that's St Helens, they'll make you pay. 69 times Jordan Turner played for this Salford club, and he'll have enjoyed that moment.
Yes, he will. Jordan Turner doubles the score, 8-0, and an immediate change in the kicking department because Travis Burns had the job a few minutes ago. Now it's Mark Percival.
Well, Steve, if you had to pick a man of the match at the end of this kick, I think Joe Greenwood will probably pick that up. You know, not only did he get his side from one end of the field to the other with the initial break, but he delivered a very nice, what might look simple, pass to Jordan Turner. Caution gave the ball pretty early to allow Turner when he knew he was in the space. Great pass there from the young second rower.
Can Percival kick the extras? No, he can't. It was very close. Very close. But Saints are ahead by 8 points to 0. 2 tries, no goals.
Yeah, and the biggest problem for Salford coach Jason Harris is the knowledge that their defence, they're getting out of shape. Some are coming out of the line, others hanging back. You could see there quite clearly that there were 3 Salford players trying to get at one particular man. That leaves you with no option but to leave a huge gap, and Turner certainly found it.
Easton Harris just demonstrating a little bit of frustration at the fact that his team have just conceded the second try. Interesting fact about St Helens, that's the 6th try that they have scored so far this season. They've only kicked 1 goal. Will that be an Achilles heel for them until Luke Walsh returns to this side?
Well, it certainly would have been a huge advantage to add an extra 4 points at this point in the game. But the biggest problem for Salford, as I mentioned, is their defence. You know, this cutout, oh, beautiful play again. He's having a big game, Kyle Amor. That should have been a penalty, and it is.
Corey Patterson just hanging on too long. Midway through this first half, another penalty.
And that's
goes against Salford.
And that's a sign of a side that's struggling. He realises that the defensive line, they find it difficult to get it all shaped into any sort of shape at all. And I must say that the way that St Helens have attacked from deep within their own half.
Wigan Huddersfield is the Friday match tomorrow. Sky Sports 1 at 7:30. And then on Saturday lunchtime, 1:55 on Sky Sports 3, we see the Catalan Dragons against the Castleford Tigers. 3 great matches live on Sky Sports this weekend from the First Utility Super League. We're in round 2 of the 20th season. It's a solid run from Alex Wormsley. He's come off the bench, having done really well last week. Roby gets the ball away, and it is Joe Greenwood who comes up with the 3rd try down the blind side. And they took the sucker punch then, Salford. And Greenwood barged onto the ball. It was just set up for him beautifully by Roby, and Greenwood got the try, his first of 2015. And he deserves that because he has shown up, as the boys have been saying. He's been showing up all night.
Well, Oh, silly penalty away by Patterson. Didn't need that. And this is so simple. He'll be furious, Justin Harris. They just went to sleep. Look at Locke. If you're going to go, you're going to go. You've got to make sure that you get to somebody. He barely had a finger touch at Greenwood. That was so simple. He will, and I said it again, Justin Harris will be furious. There's no shape to their defence at all.
Well, they've hit the dozen mark, have the Saints, while Salford are behind their own line again, and there's not too much talking being done. There's nobody reading the riot act. Harrison Hansen's having a bit of a go now, the skipper, but they need to sort this out pretty quickly, do the Salford Red Devils. Here's Percival then lining up this kick. This is arguably the easiest kick of the night that the Saints have had. It's a different start to the season of 2015 for Salford, who beat Wakefield and London at the start of last year, but they haven't beaten St Helens in 5 years, so they are in danger here of losing the first two for a fifth time in 6 seasons. And this time they add the extras. It's 14-0 to St Helens. Bill.
Yeah, we thought he wasn't going to continue for much longer, and Corey Patterson has left the field. He started off with a bang on the knee, which he seemed to run off, but it looks as though it's the left shoulder that has caused Patterson to come off the field, and not just come off the field, he's gone straight down the tunnel, accompanied by the Salford Red Devils medical staff for an investigation of that injury. So that is a blow for the Red Devils. I think they've got another one in the offing, because Kevin Locke has had treatment. Of course, he missed the first game of the season with a groin injury. He's had treatment as well, and he is a bit susceptible, so they're keeping an eye on their fullback.
Well, here is a chance for Salford to strike back. Televe holds his head in his hands because it was his mistake, and he got the rounds of the kitchen here from Travis Burns after this error. Burns drops on it,
and so he should as well. That's the second occasion that we've seen the big fella just have a look at the opposition.
Mike, if you're looking at minor detail, though, maybe that pass could have been put in front of him rather than slightly behind him.
Yeah, I agree, Phil, because you've got a full set defensive line from Salford all staring at you. And one of the points I was going to make about the St Helens side is their ruck speed is very good. It's too hot to handle for Salford. And we looked at Harrison Hansen. What will he be saying behind those sticks? It'll be, lads, let's take a deep breath, get some control and the play the ball, and not let the Saints play the ball at the speed they want to.
Greg Johnson, Salford playing the ball at the speed they want to at the moment. Good hands on show from them. Rangi chasing the heartbeat of it, and here he is again. Oof. And Hock went through the defensive line, but the tackle was made in defence by Alex Walmsley, so the referee says play on, you got him. And Hock bounces off Wilkin. Oh, hang on.
He did run behind one of his players, but it's a tough call.
Well, he's in the defensive line, he's run behind his own player. The referee's deemed that he's prevented the defensive line making the tackle and penalised them. And I think it's quite rightly, in my opinion, that's the obstruction there. Just stays in the defensive line.
Now, they got away with the first one, didn't they? Because the Saints got to the man with the ball.
Tackled him immediately, so there wasn't any advantage from it, so it was play on from there.
But not so on that occasion. 25 minutes gone, St Helens leading 14-0. Remember this time last year, just about, it was a round later, it was round 3, but the same time of the year in February, St Helens won this match by 38 points to 0. It's the last thing that Justin Harris will want to happen tonight.
Well, it was 12-0 at half-time as well, that game. Salford's still in it, but they've been to the other end of the field 4 times, and look, there's an obstruction there, but not according to the referee. Salford have been in an attacking position 4 times in this game, and on all 4 occasions they've blown it. They've either lost the ball or thrown it out of play, been obstructed and penalised as well. So they really need to improve what they're doing.
Well, they got away with it. They released him at the very last moment.
It was Gareth Hock doing the lifting, put his hand between the legs of Televe, and just about got away with that.
Brilliant kick. That's what a captain needs to do to any side. John Wilkin, early in the tackle count, didn't wait till the last, knew that there was no one at home. Just pump it down there, and the way that this Saints defence is so aggressive, You can see that quite a few of the Salford players are not too interested in getting this scrum packed down.
Well, here's the lift from Gareth, Hock and Harrison Hansen. They put him down, but not terribly gingerly. They just let go of him.
No, and Ben Thaler's just been across to Gareth and just told him to be careful. So he spotted it, and I think it's good refereeing from Ben.
There's just a quick word on the run. Here's Greg Johnson again. Was that high from Greenwood?
Certainly looked slightly.
Oh. Touch judge is on.
Oh. Let's see it again.
Barry, we don't want them all to end up looking like you at the end of their career.
No, but watch where contact is.
No, nothing wrong with that. It was right across the chest.
I think Ben Thaler was happy with the tackle, but Robert Hicks has come on, reported the tackle, so Ben's gone with him.
Well, there are times when I wish to just hang on to the flag, stay on the touchline.
Every time.
Let the referee, the man with a whistle, control it.
Barry just sitting there with the air of a man who was proved right by the pictures.
Nice feeling, Eddie. It doesn't happen very often.
Chase gets the ball away again to Harrison Hansen. He's met by Televe and Mark Flanagan. Tommy Lee now from dummy half. It's a solid enough run from Scott Taylor once more.
This is where the likes of Hock produce something, a delayed pass. Oh, they're gone for the kick.
Angled kick against the grain almost by Rangi Chase. Gobbled up though by Tommy Makinson.
Interesting to look at the combination of Rangi Chase and Michael Dobson, of course. You know, Dobson more of the creative player. Rangi Chase, well, at the times when I don't think Rangi knows what he's going to do. But we haven't seen anything individual from him as yet.
What we've just seen here, though, Eddie, I think is 3 decent tackles from Salford. The first time, almost half an hour into this game, they've been able to contain St Helens. It's a big push here from them, and they need the kickers and the catchers, the catchers of this kick to be in a great position, and maybe they could build some momentum here now. There's 3 of them backfield, Ben Jones-Bishop in the middle, Lockout wide on the left.
Where's the kick going to go? Is there going to be a kick? Is there going to be a kick? Because Saints are running it with Makinson. There's the kick into centre field. Bounces horribly but kindly for Ben Jones-Bishop, and he will come back on the return, and he's quick. It's Ben Jones-Bishop. Whoa, what a try this is! What a try from Ben Jones-Bishop that is! 2 last week, 1 tonight, just what the doctor ordered this. And on 29 minutes, Ben Jones-Bishop gives Salford hope, because that's bang under the sticks, and this will reduce the deficit, you would think, by 6 points. Great take in the air by Ben Jones-Bishop, and he just cut through the defenders as if they weren't there, and to be frank, they weren't.
Well, Saints went with a power play, and it looked as though it was going to work out fine, didn't it? There were 3 Saints players there, but Ben Jones-Bishop picks it out of the air. What about the step there? Nothing that Walmsley could do about it. You put a 3-quarter against a prop forward, and 99.9% means you're going to beat him, and that is what's happened.
Well, Ben Jones-Bishop's eyes must have lit up when he saw big Alex Walmsley one-on-one with him. And I've seen Ben Jones-Bishop do this since he was a young man in the academy system. Backs himself, looks for the space, carries the ball in one hand and puts it down under the black dot. Well done, Ben Jones-Bishop.
And Michael Dobson now to add the extras from bang in front, which he does. That was an academic question for a kicker of his quality. And Salford are on the ball. It's 6 to them, but it's 14 to Saints.
And it's an important score as well by the home side. Mainly due to the fact they were getting a little bit fractious, they're getting a little bit unnerved, and he knew it, did Justin Harris. You know, sometimes you just need the rub of the green, the bounce, and it went for them. And it's that little thing that can just make everybody happy, including this man. And there's a smile. He's a character, there's no doubt about that. He would have enjoyed every single second of that.
Well, he's a big punter, isn't he, Marwan Kukash, and they took a risk, they took a gamble. Phil looked at it, spotted it straight away. They pulled 2 players out of the regular line, 3 in total with the fullback, so there's spaces. You look at good video work from St Helens. They've said, when we see that opportunity, let's go for it. Unfortunately, they couldn't capitalise on it. The Salford Red Devils came right back.
And now here's a penalty that will relieve the pressure straight away. Mark Flanagan.
Ruck speed, Eddie. I talked about it. Harrison Hansen, I'm sure he would have said, look, like, try and get some control back when we're defending, and when we've got the ball, play it as quick as you can.
Well, the indiscipline certainly went against Saints last week against the Catalan Dragons. It really was to some concern of their coach Kieran Cunningham. I think it was seven penalties on the trot that they gave away, and you don't need indiscipline when you've got yourself to a commanding lead at 14-0. Okay, it's a beautiful individual try by Ben Jones-Bishop, but they can't just rest on their laurels, Saints. They know they've got to work hard on this one.
And Steve-O, that's a big substitution for the Red Devils. They put Theo Fage down. You see him with the ball in his hand. He's trying to speed it up around those big fellas. The Amos, the Robys, that done an incredible amount of work, will then have to be ultra alert when the young Frenchman gets the ball at dummy half.
Theo Fage gets it away to Dobson. He throws it up into the air. It's claimed by Lomax. And Jones-Bishop and Fage in there quickly to bring him down.
It's amazing, isn't it? You know, a couple of seasons ago, the youngster Johnny Lomax sometimes a little bit tentative when they got the high kick to him, but he's very confident. There's a problem for the big fella, Walmsley.
As he's come to the side, and I think we've got news, Bill.
Yeah, triple Saints change, and Kieran Cunningham obviously deciding the guys need a lift out there in the face of this Salford revival. So off have come Walmsley, Amor and Mark Flanagan, and Savelio, Thompson and Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook are out there for the Saints.
Well, he won't take a backward step, Louis. He missed last week, his first absence in 25 for the Saints. The kick down the middle of the field, though, straight to Kevin Locke, and here's Ben Jones-Bishop, who's proved how quick and elusive he can be just a few minutes ago. 7 to half-time, 8 points the difference. Dobson directing operations from dummy half.
And that's where they needed a very good kick, and it wasn't the best from Travis Burns.
That's good defence from Saints, though.
You can't afford with in the half-time break is to put the ball right down the throat of the opposition. You want to put it over the whitewash, try to turn them around.
Carol Griffin found Harrison Hansen. 4 tackles gone. They're just about on halfway. Fage will go down the left side with Dobson. Good tackling again by, well, James Roby. Who else? 65 tackles last week. 1,054 in 2014. He was the hitman of the year. He's off to a great start in pursuit of retaining that title this year, and very close, I'm sure, to being the man of steel, the player of the year.
Yeah, without a doubt, he's a great player. And of course, what about the understatement of the season so far when he won the man of the match last week? 65 tackles, and he said, no, I didn't think I played all that well. Dearly me.
Yeah, he said he didn't think he'd done much, didn't he?
Yeah.
There he is again.
Just look at his eyes at the play of the ball. He's trying to see what's available to him. If there's nothing on, gives it to his teammates. How much information's going through that brain at the minute?
He's on a little run of his own.
Well, you can see that. If he sees a player that's still down at the tackle count, in the tackle, he'll take full advantage of it. It was a high one from Wilkin.
Oh, and he didn't like the challenge that came in on him from Scott Taylor, by the way, and there's a knock-on anyway at the other end of the field. But Taylor and Wilkin continuing the discussion.
Still going at it, Eddie. Scott Taylor put real pressure on, as we see. Failed to take the high bomb. Kevin Locke
isn't 100%, is he? He hasn't been really since he arrived here the middle of last year. And Taylor and Wilkin
just getting to know each other.
Well, he's Wigan these days, or he's on loan from Wigan, is Taylor, and Wilkin, St Helens now through and through. Both ex-Hull KR, of course, both from the same part of the world. So,
will this be a set move?
Might be. Louis, McCarthy, Scarsbrook.
Watch for the run around and watch for Lomax. Is he getting out on that right-hand side?
Savelio, who scored last week against the Catalan Dragons. Andre Savelio, only 19 years of age, on the bench again tonight. plays the ball to Roby, good ball to Vey, and Vey was almost over. The post pads did as much as the Salford defence to keep him out. Here is Wilkin, great barnstorming run from Thompson, and Luke Thompson gets over the line for Saints. Well, he's just on. It was that triple change by Kieran Cunningham. Luke Thompson, 19 years of age, smiling, is Sean Long alongside the head coach, Cunningham. And if things aren't going quite right, the coach's job is to change things around, and he has done with Savelio and Thompson and McCarthy-Scarsbrook thrown onto the field. They were at the heartbeat of that try.
You can't afford to come up with errors like this. There was no pressure applied to him. His arms was going down when they should have been going up to Naismith, and that is a good effort. Neat little pass. Wilkins says, take it, get out of the way. Tremendous stuff.
And young Walton's mistake, he's just a yard behind his defensive line. You see Rangi Chase in front of him. I'm a great admirer of young Luke Thompson. Very brave player, takes that ball with his eyes open. He's got something to deal with, the shape of Walm in front of him. He's got to catch that ball, assess the situation, get rid of the defender and plonk the ball down. Does a great job, and he's got a big reputation, and I know that he's very well thought of at the Saints club.
And he won a grand final as a teenager last year. There's not too many who can boast that in the 20th season of the Super League. And Percival here now to try and add 2 more points to the total. 3 from 3 goals in that grand final. He missed with his only kick last week. He's kicked 1 tonight. Will he make it 2? Yes, he will. And St Helens back in control. The lead is 14 points now. Salford 6, Saints 20.
Well, we're looking forward to well, a pretty good season from the way that Salford had bought well. Certainly the addition of Michael Dobson to steer them around the park, but
Keep it in, boys.
it's when it's in attack that you can all be smiles, but it's in defence that will certainly get you anywhere near a grand final. And the defence is just as important. And I'm afraid that Salford have fallen down in that department.
2.5 minutes to half-time. St Helens back in control. Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook driving it forward.
Wait, mate. Hold it here. Hold Theo. Theo, wait. Go.
Roby. At Telavey, straight at Michael Dobson.
Go. Hold the line, boys. Wait. Hold
Needed a
it.
bit of help.
Go.
The help came from Mason Caton Brown. As the try scorer, the recent try scorer, Luke Thompson, he goes down.
It's a knock on.
And it's a knock-on by Luke Thompson. He disputes the decision by Ben Thaler, but has to accept it in the end.
Somebody else, boys.
Yeah, just seemed to lose control.
Time's up.
Seemed to be a bit of weight on the arm. No, it wasn't helped. No, he just lost it. Or did he?
Yeah, he's lost possession of that. He's got it back eventually, but it's gone against the Salford player, so that's a knock-on.
Okay, Michael.
So a chance for Salford Red Devils just before half-time to try and get back into contention once again.
They've got to try a little bit round to play the ball area. They're trying to get it out wide too much. This is where we saw early in the piece where Gareth Hawke was coming first receiver and then offloading. We haven't seen it since.
Going forward into him. Play on.
Remember last week Saints conceded a try just before half-time to the Widnes Vikings. To the Catalan Dragons. Can they possibly now do the same? Can Salford do the same, that is? He went looking for him, didn't he?
Well, one missed.
Ready, guys.
2 certainly didn't.
Oh, that was a mess, and there was a foot in there as well, so it's a penalty to Salford.
They've got to go for the try. They've got to go for the broke.
John Wilkin, the culprit, according to Ben Thaler, lashing out with the feet. So here goes Adam Walton again.
Well, it amazes me that they've got to have one runner to settle things down. When you get a penalty, you sort yourself out quickly.
Now they've got a man on the overlap here, and it's Ben Jones-Bishop again. That's good defence, though, from Makinson. He held the ground, did Tom Makinson. Caton Brown, Dobson. Dobson gets it to Farge. Farge then to Harrison Hansen.
Good tackle by Wilkin. Boy, he tried to offload in Hansen there, but Wilkin was all over the ball. That should be a penalty. He's allowed it to go. Farge is going in,
and Farge is over the line, but he's held up, says the referee.
Good position there by Ben Thaler.
Time off.
Well, they'll only have one more play the ball, I feel.
Line boys.
Maybe two if it's a big,
Hold the line.
if it's quick defence from Saints.
But it's called time off, now he calls time on, and the drive forward is by Jordan Waln. And there's the half-time siren, ball not back in play. Too late was the cry for Salford. And Kieran Cunningham and Sean Long will be pleased with the first half performance from the champions here. They were 14-0 up. They were pegged back by a wonderful try from Ben Jones-Bishop to 14-6. And then Luke Thompson, his try made it 20 points to 6 at the break. Salford have shown up in patches, but they have, well, they've just not been able to hold St Helens. The speed of the play the ball has killed them. And I'm sure that Justin Harris will be trying to fix a few things up during the half-time break that we're now into. It's Salford Red Devils 6. It's St Helens 20.
Ladbrokes.
Two more live matches for you from the First Utility Super League this weekend. Friday, Saturday, Wigan Huddersfield, 7:30 tomorrow, Sky Sports 1. At lunchtime, 1:55 Saturday, Sky Sports 3, the Catalan Dragons and Castleford. Here on this Thursday night, Salford and St Helens have kicked things off for us. Saints ahead 20 points to 6 at half-time. Second half about to get underway. Phil, what do the other stats tell us?
Well, they tell us that one team aren't defending well enough. If we look at the total tackles made, not a big difference there. Salford in the red, St Helens in the blue. But just look at the missed tackles. 16 for Salford. That's far too many to give them a chance. Outstanding defence, though, for the second week in a row by the Saints. And the other factor, well, again, they both had the same amount of possession, these two sides. We look at the ground that they've made when they've had the ball, though. It's a huge difference. That's primarily because of the speed of the play of the ball from the Saints sides. If that continues, there's only going to be one winner.
Well, it's almost a mirror image of 12 months ago, isn't it, when the Saints won here handsomely by 38 points to 0. We came into this match, all of us just wondering how much of an influence would next weekend be, and that World Club Challenge against the South Sydney Rabbitohs. It looks like it's making no difference whatsoever.
Yeah, very professional in their approach, St Helens, and we saw that in that first half, but Phil has made it quite clear that any side that misses 16 tackles in the first stanza, you're putting yourself in a real big hole. And St Helens, no doubt, they'll be wanting to add as many tries early so that perhaps they can have a little bit of a buffer and allow that Kieran Cunningham, their coach, an opportunity to maybe rest a couple of players, because it is an important match next weekend. Let's face it, everybody wants to be a world champion in it.
Absolutely. Darryl Griffin takes the first tackle of the second half, and this is number 17, Jordan Waln. The Waln brothers are on there tonight. Jordan and Adam, the Griffin brothers, are figuring as well. Josh and Darryl.
That's shocking. I'm sorry, but that is not the start that Justin Harris, the Salford coach, would have wanted. They really got to keep their eye on. I mean, it's just lack of concentration, and who wants it? Should I have got there? And I mean, no one was calling for it. No one was. You've got to be positive in any sport, especially in rugby league.
I don't think it was Ben Jones-Bishop's call, was it?
No, it wasn't. But the thing is, you've got to have somebody. I was just about to make the mention that we saw very little of Rangi Chase in that first 40 minutes. You know, we know what Rangi Chase can do, but he has not tested the market. He has not put any sort of pressure in attack on this Saints defence, which we know is good, but he's brilliant at it.
Here's Makinson. Oh, he's gone round Mason, Caton Brown like he wasn't there. And Tommy Makinson over for the first try of the second half. A mistake from Salford, and St Helens capitalise on it. And it was so easy down the right-hand side. Makinson, he just ghosted past the defender and over in the corner. Second try of the season, one last week, one now here tonight. And well, St Helens They take a stranglehold on this match right at the start of this second half.
Shocking pass, should have got it, not alert enough. And this, again, is poor defence. You had two men going inside. Caden Brown, he was at the side of Michael Dobson. They're there together, you just create the overlap. And this guy knows how to score. Brilliant stuff.
Well, that's a quality finish from a quality player. We're going to change the terminology of rugby league and call that particular play utilising the Makinson technique. Getting the ball up, levitating in the air, plonking it down.
Wow, levitating in the air.
Terminology, these are...
Wow.
Everyone needs an ology, and Barry's discovered one tonight.
As I said, he swallowed the thesaurus, that is for sure.
The what? The what?
You need to look at the dictionary.
He probably thinks it's from the Planet of the Apes.
Now then, can Percival add the extras? Wonderful try from Makinson. He's not too far away, but just in front of the posts. So first blood, second half to the Saints, 24-6. And it's an alarming fact for Iestyn Harris just how easily St Helens scored that try. That's not the start that Iestyn would have wanted.
No, I'm afraid that when you get the likes of centre, Mason Caden Brown mixing up with the halfback Michael Dobson, they were virtually at the side of each other when it should have been man-on-man marking. Take nothing away from Makinson's finish, which, as Barry's mentioned, he's making a trademark, isn't it? He knows how to dive and levitate.
You know, if you read about the psychology of champions, one word sometimes appears common to all of them, and it's grit. The ability to hang on and develop and work hard through the tough times. This is a difficult period here now for Salford. They might not come back to win this game, but I think we're going to see here with an attempted 40-20 kick, just the character here now that Salford have developed. 12 months ago, Eddie, they couldn't compete. Travis Burns may have just tweaked a hamstring injury there. As he
think there was a collision after the kick. I think he jarred his thigh on the attempted charge down from Adam Wallen.
To be fair, Adam Wallen tried to get out of it, just perhaps had a little bit of a stray boot, perhaps. Either way,
and it's a smart kick, Steve. Or they've gone for field position, and we're talking at half-time. What can Salford do to stop Saints and Saints' dominance? Yes, we've talked about the play of the ball. Yes, we've talked about the ruck speed, but I think it's field position. They need to get away from their own line. Then if they do make a mistake like they did in the lead up to the last try, it's not going to cost them points automatically.
Let's get down to Bill, half-time news.
Well, Iestyn Harris was hoping for a more positive start for his side to this second half. And the key word for the Salford Red Devils at half-time was composure, because they got themselves into some very promising positions in that first 40 minutes, but didn't have the calmness or the mythology to really exploit it, or the composure. Well, if they can get themselves into Saints territory, then they still feel as though they could trouble the Saints defence, although Kieran Cunningham and his coaching team very pleased with the defensive effort from their side in that first 40 minutes. They put themselves under a bit of pressure at times, the amount of ball they dropped. They're looking to make a better job of it in the second 40.
Well, that'll be the turnover, and there is Kieran Cunningham. So being very, very happy indeed with the build-up, especially their ability, which we've seen for so many years at St Helens, how they can attack from deep within their own half. It's an amazing run of the St Helens side, especially this guy who's what a leader. Gets into the dummy half position, gets through a ton of work.
Interesting, the two coaches that we've got on show here tonight, Cunningham and Harris. 20 years ago, they were bright young things in this game that helped Wales to a magical run in the 1995 World Cup. They gave as good as they got against England at Old Trafford in the semi-final, and 5 years later, both in the side that got to another semi-final against Australia at Huddersfield. But here they are tonight at 38 years of age, head to head, as first-time head coaches.
Well, not the best pass there from Johnny Lomax. You couldn't blame Jordan Turner on this occasion. You could see that Turner had gone. He had to reach behind for it. Just lack of concentration. Just not seeing where the man has positioned himself.
Justin Harris, of course, a Welsh head coach in the past, and he also had charge of the Celtic Crusaders as well, didn't he? But this is the big time for him at Salford, and certainly the big time for Kieran at St Helens as champions.
Certainly is, but I keep mentioning it, but Salford's got to come up with something different, and that man has got to be Rangi Chase.
Here's Dobson. And there is Chase. Just delayed, and nothing on for him, so he took the tackle from Greenwood and Roby. It's a solid Saints defence, this. They're in good fettle ahead of next week and the World Club Challenge. Solid enough run from Darryl Griffin, one-time England international. They're in centre field, the Red Devils, with Theo Fage. Chase the no-look pass to Dobson.
Great defence.
It was great defence. Low down by Travis Burns. A Televay coming over the top as well.
Going to be a high kick.
And there it is, high, looking for Kevin Locke. The ball is knocked backwards, I think. Well, it was knocked back by a Salford hand. I had a suspicion it might have been knocked forward by Saints, but Ben Thaler saw it differently. And I think he might have got it right, Ben.
Well, there's just a lot of hope, isn't there, at the end of the sets for St Helens. They're putting the ball high in the air and hoping for the best.
Yeah, it was Kevin Locke that certainly got the hand to it, knocked it back.
Was it knocked backwards?
Yeah, Locke. But it was on the last tackle, Eddie.
Well, last year, only the two relegated teams in Wakefield scored less tries than Salford. From what we've seen here in the 50 minutes, it doesn't appear that their attack yet really has got to click. They passed the ball wide a few minutes ago, Steve, and you saw Rangi Chase with the ball in his hands, but none of his teammates seemed to be certain of which position on the field or which hole in the defensive line they were running into. So there's still a lot of learning got to take place here with both their attack and a massive amount of improvement with the defence.
There seems to be a problem here with the jaw for Mark Percival, just having a check on him. Seems like he's okay. They want all the hands on deck next week and for the remainder of this match. In many ways, this is as equally important to them, with bearing in mind the 23 rounds before we get into the middle eights. Get as many points as you can, Steve, early on.
Yeah, it's so important, as you say. You've got to get up there in that top 8. You don't want to be down in the dungeon, as they call it. I'm really impressed with the way that St Helens, they share the workload as well. You know, we often see wingers come in and try to take the ball away, give the forwards a little bit of a break. But they're relentless. They just know where to put themselves. And again, kicking early, down the middle. If it hits terra firma, it always gives the opposition a chance. Get that defensive line, and that is what you call pretty solid defence.
Tremendous chase from Vey and Percival, that. Caton Brown.
You can see how this Saints defence is just forcing Salford into basically one-out rugby league football. And they need to do something better than this.
Greg Johnson underneath that challenge. Theo Fage. It's the pass away once again, and it's Adam Waln. Troubled pre-season for Adam Waln. He was sent off against Dewsbury. He was sin-binned last week at Warrington.
You know, when I came to the game, Steve, I was all excited when I heard that Kevin Locke was going to play. I've seen him play some fantastic rugby league and excited with what he can do. But we haven't seen him get involved enough in this. There's another error here, and Salford are going to get the ball. There's still enough time for them to win this game. They obviously need to score 6 points soon and re-energise themselves. There's a mistake here by Swift. A second high kick comes down. Rangi Chase trying his best. But they're going to have to come up with some magic here to get over the line, because breaking through St Helens' defence isn't easy. And I'm hoping maybe Locke might have that magic trick up his bag.
Well, not the best from Adam Swift, and he knows it. And leading the chase was Rangi Chase, and I just get the impression that he may have picked up a bit of a knock.
Okay,
You're right,
Theo,
Phil.
heads in. Johnny, head in. Stay on.
The Red Devils need to score a try now. Simple.
Harrison Hansen.
But no one is asking the questions of this Saints defence. There's very little running from dummy half. Dobson is being the man to offload. But someone take them on.
Well, Lamatazi is trying to outmuscle them, and he's halted 12 metres from the line. Here goes Theo Fage, gives it to Dobson, now Chase. Oh, and then Ben Jones-Bishop puts the ball down, but I think the touch judge has come on.
I've got it, calm down.
They were trying to get the link going, but it's clearly not worked, has it? The players aren't in the right positions, and St Helens' defence is pretty good, although maybe illegally good at this point.
Well, Ben Jones-Bishop, without looking at it for a second time, he's on his heels as he catches that ball, trying to pull out of it. Jordan Turner is right in his face.
I think it was Mossy Masoi, though, who collided. Was it a shoulder charge? Is that what they've ruled?
I think they ruled a late challenge on that rather than a shoulder charge after he's passed the ball.
Yeah, it was a big fella. Awesome Masai, you'll see him coming. There it is. Far too late.
Well, it's a chance for Salford then, because look where they are now, so close to that St Helens line, and Theo Fage waits at dummy half as Lamatazi plays it to him. There is Michael Dobson. This is Harrison Hansen. That's an important tackle. Very important tackle by Travis Burns, but Saints are offside. Offside out wide. Another penalty. What do we say? Penalty, penalty, try.
Well, look at Burns.
Burns is offside again.
Nearly me. He nearly played the ball for Salford then.
Adam Wallen with the hand in the face of the Saints defender. They're back where they
throw the
start.
dummy.
Theo Fage goes for it. Held up short. I think he's going upstairs.
Well, I don't think he's got it down.
I've got... Good time, but no try. Stevie's grounded the ball, please.
So they just want to check whether he's grounded the ball, and Phil Bentham on the right of his screen, Steve Ganson on the left will just check this out. If they can see that the ball is on the ground, they have the ability, they have the right to change the decision.
That's right. The referees send it up as a no try, so they have to see whether they agree with him.
And they have to universally agree, don't they, Stuart?
Yes, they make their own decision, and we then go on the majority decision with the referee's decision counting as one. And I think it's fairly obvious from what we've seen so far that ball's not on the ground. So I think Ben Thaler's original decision will stand on this.
That's his view. That's Ben Thaler's view we're looking at here. That's with the ref cam.
And I think you'll see that you can't actually see the ball from where he's looking, so he's within his rights really to just check that he hasn't gone underneath the players.
It's great work by Lomax. He's got right underneath him, and there's no way in the world that the hooker can get that ball down.
Well, they were caught out by Elwar Pelissier on a similar play, weren't they, last week? He just crashed over when he tapped the ball and went. Here they're now back 10 more metres, but they need a magic play from somebody here with a red shirt on.
Yeah, so there is no try. And the tackle count resumes 10 metres from where he was held up. And Darryl Griffin, oh, he's tried to offload that.
Roby get it in back.
Roby did give it in back. Theo Fage again. Standing start for Taze.
Well, once again, it looks as though Salford's going to have to rely on the kick to come up with some points.
Either that or brute force and ignorance. And what on earth was that? I don't think that Darryl Griffin knew that was coming at him. I think he was planning to be the dummy runner. And went straight into his chest.
Do you know what every dummy runner should do?
Be a dummy runner.
No. Think he's going to get the ball. That's the best way to become a dummy runner.
We got Gareth Hocker in trouble here, I think. I think he's used his knee on the player.
Yeah, just a bit. Atkinson got it in the face off the knee of Gareth Hock. He's such a great player, and John Wilkin is obviously leading the protest. I mean, he's such a great player, Gareth Hock, but he tends to do things like that, doesn't he?
Yeah, silly.
And it's unjustifiable. It really is.
And that's an indication of the place that Salford are in at the minute. They can't seem to get a break, and the frustration etched all over the face of Gareth Hock.
It's got to be a worth a yellow card, that. It has to be.
It has when you see it in slow motion. I'm not sure how much of a view the referee Ben Thaler's had.
Contact is, but I'm going in with his knees. That's what the penalty.
Well, surely he'll put this on report. Yes, he has.
Back in. John,
But to the credit, he's got so much talent.
He has, and he proved that in the first half early with the offloads and everything else. We saw a couple last week at Warrington.
If it's worth a yellow, if it's worth a penalty for dropping the knees on, then it's got to be worth a yellow card.
Well, the yellow card's in for that sort of thing this year. I think it would have been very appropriate for that to be a yellow card.
But if I read Ben rightly with what he said, the referee, he said he wasn't sure where the contact was, but there was a use of the knees, and that's why he's given the penalty. If he saw the knees going in, he didn't know where he hit him.
Well, if that's the information he's dealing with, then it's probably a fair enough decision. But the yellow card should be used for situations like that now.
Well, I don't think we'll hear the end of that.
Which part of the body is it okay to go with the knees in on?
I don't know. I was just thinking exactly that when I said it. I've no idea. Wilkin hoists the high kick. I think the referee's called Saints offside here. The ball's bounced horribly. The ball has bounced again. St Helens have touched down, courtesy of Percival. He's going to go upstairs with this. I heard him shout, "You two are offside." I don't know which two he was talking about, Ben Thaler. There's a whole host of things to sort out. He's given the try.
That was the last.
Well, again, we see Salford.
Could be the second try this for Percival if it's given.
Make a right mess of it.
Well, the interesting thing on this, Robert Hicks on the far side has voted for no try, saying that Saints players were in front of the kicker. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Well, we've got players on the left-hand side that are offside, but all the ones on the right are onside. Who chases? Well, they're all onside. No one's within the 10. That's play on from there. Still onside. And that's a knock-on by Salford, or a knock-back by Salford. Video referees just checking these players. Probably checking a challenge. There's no interference there. Play on from here.
This is TRY time. What a shocking attempt there.
Ben Jones Bishop has missed it.
So that ball's gone back. There's no interference. Is the ball grounded?
That's try time.
That's a try.
Well, it's grounded. Caton Brown lost it. No question of that. The try's been given. He has to see something, or they have to see something to overturn it. And nothing there to overturn it. So Percival gets his second try of the match. And a right schmozzle at the back for Salford. And the second try for Mark Percival.
The high kick. It's undone Salford twice tonight. That is a very poor attempt. He never really got himself into a decent position. And when it was knocked back there by Caton Brown, it was always going to be a gift. A shambles in the end from Salford.
2 tries last year in the victory here for Mark Percival, as you can see on the screen, and 2 tries here tonight and 2 goals so far. Will this be his third? And the answer is yes, it will. So 30 points to 6 now. The champions are ahead.
Well, Eddie, we talked about the trademark of Tommy Makinson when he scored that try for St Helens, but the trademark of John Wilkin is those high spiral hanging bombs, and Ben Jones Bishop doesn't drop many high balls, and he's absolutely no idea where that ball is. In the last 8 to 10 minutes, it's took a wicked kink, and the ball's on the floor, and then it's a lottery.
Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook, a big hit by Jordan Waln. He kept going, did Louis, who played the ball. And Adam Swift not going anywhere under pressure like that. What can Salford do in the remaining 24 minutes or so of this match?
Well, let's hope they improve, because it hasn't been a good performance, that is for sure.
That's a good example there. There's 2 players from Salford involved in that play of the ball, and Mossy Massour just simply shrugs them off and plays the ball at his will. Now, don't get me wrong, Mossy Massour is a big bloke. You described him, Steele, as a big unit. I'll raise you, big unit. Mossy Massour is as big as Kilimanjaro, but he shouldn't be allowed to play the ball when he wants.
Well, I think he perhaps runs a little bit faster than Kilimanjaro, but Well, it's difficult for Salford and their coach Justin Harris, because we arrived here tonight expecting so much of an improvement, and you look down the list of their players that they've introduced. Okay, it didn't help with Corey Patterson having to leave early, but
Locke's off the field now, Steve-O, by the way.
Yeah, and that's a knock-on.
Just looks like Groundhog Day from 12 months ago, doesn't it? I mean, you want to be positive because the club has struggled for a long time and believe in better, but at the moment they have got a very long way to go. I mean, they'll cling on to the thought that they've had a very difficult start to the season. Warrington and St Helens are two possible grand finalists, and they've played them both in the first 2 weeks, but they've looked far from ready. I mean, if you go back to when they were attacking and they had those penalties out in the field, and the misdirected pass on the last play, it was as if they just turned up yesterday, got together for the first time as a side, which must be so disappointing, because I imagine they've practiced those scenarios and knowing who to pass the ball to in that position of the field, but they've completely forgotten everything they've ever been taught.
You must be disappointed, Phil, in the fact that you know, you praised them at the start of the season. You tipped them last year, they failed.
I just think,
I'm
a perennial tipper now of the Salford side. I'm going to stick with them until they pick up the crown.
And I'm going to back you, Phil, because I turned up expecting Salford to put in not only a good performance, but win this game. Saints have got a big game next week, and Salford played incredibly well under difficult circumstances last week against Warrington. They haven't played well against St Helens, simple as that, and they'll need to work on things to get much better very quickly.
And Phil was talking about the difficult start that they've had. Warrington last week, Saints this week. They get a week off next week, of course, because everyone is off apart from the three involved in the World Club Series. As Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook plunders another St Helens try. Over he goes. And Louis will be delighted with that. And they're just too big and too strong, too quick thinking for Salford tonight. But I'm just going to go back to the point of the Red Devils' difficult start. Warrington, Salford, St Helens tonight, and then Hull in a fortnight. Then they go to Catalan. And they're back here on the 15th of March against Wakefield. It's a very difficult start to any season, and Salford making themselves it difficult for themselves here tonight.
I'm not going to make any excuses, because quite frankly St Helens have not hit what I call top gear. They haven't needed to. It's been simple basic rugby league football that's got them the try tonight, all coming about from missed tackles, the error count. It's a nightmare night for Justin Harris. It's a nightmare night for the Salford club, and I know there's one person that will not shy away from saying that it's not the standard that he expected, and that's Dr. Kukash.
Well, he cancelled the end of season party last year because he said there was nothing to celebrate. But you know, it was their best effort since winning promotion in 2008 last year. Obviously that isn't good enough for him. Percival adds the extras. The scoreline doesn't look pretty from a Salford point of view. 36-6. Last year they won the last 3 home games of 2014, by the way. 5 of the last 6. The last home defeat was last July to the Leeds Rhinos until tonight.
Well, as we watch the replay of that obviously Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook's delighted with those 4 points, but the shape that St Helens had out wide was incredible. But the Salford defenders were like bees round a honeypot, all watching the ball, and it was a wonderful front door pass that Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook, he catches that ball, he's past the gain line, through the defensive line, and simply just has to put the ball down.
And he plonked the ball over the line, and for the time being, that's the last we're going to see of Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. Bill.
It's a catalogue of catastrophes for the Salford Red Devils. Latest to leave the field is Michael Dobson, who's been taken straight to the dressing room. Kevin Locke, who went into this game not, I suspect, fully fit. He missed the opening game of the season because of a groin problem. They brought him in tonight for his first of the season. He was being treated very early on. I wonder whether that was just a continuance of the injury that kept him out last week. He is off the field, and of course Corey Patterson picked up a knee injury. He has been off since before half-time with, as it turns out as well, a shoulder problem. So this is going from bad to worse on a night when they hope for so much, Salford. They've lost 3 key players. Mind you, Saints will be worried now. A man down for them.
Yes, Mossy Masoi. Heavy challenge. Two bodies on top of him.
And the knee in the face again, twice for his troubles.
Yeah, just a minute, mate. Yeah, I won't know. Come in.
Mossy getting his first start tonight. Sub last week.
Time's off. Get it!
Last absence was 12 months ago against Salford here. And the Saints won easily. And it's surely not another knee. Well, it's that this time from Gareth Hock, and then the knees again in the face. I think the touch judge on the far side has seen it, and I think that Ben Thaler has seen plenty of it as well. So he might be in a bit of bother here, Gareth Hock.
Rob, come in, please.
He's already on report, remember, for the earlier incident with the knees.
The second time he's done this.
Well, surely this is an opportunity for the yellow card.
Second time.
Well, he's going to the pocket. What colour will it be?
Twice you've done that now. You're going in the bin.
He's in the bin. The red came out first. I thought it was going to be worse for Gareth Hock than it is. And that will do his defence no good at all next week if he is called up before the disciplinary committee.
Yeah, the tackle was already completed. He didn't have to go in and swing it around there. Silly play. And now
It's as if he wanted to come on.
they're down to 12, and you know, this is a team game, and you've got to be responsible. You've got to be responsible and make sure that you keep 13 players on the field of play.
Well, Saints have got 13 on, and Kyle Amor is one of them.
Get off him.
Here's another penalty.
Right, hold on, cool it down.
Well, they are as frustrated, I'm sure, as their own supporters, the Salford Red Devils players, but
Come here.
they have to be better than this.
Yeah, they're losing the plot completely.
There's a wide belief in the modern game that you show your toughness and your steel by absorbing everything that's thrown at you. How much you can take equates to how tough you are, and Saints have been very good at that tonight.
But grabbing hair like that, okay, I mean, that's kid stuff.
And all Amor does, he accepts the penalty, gets ready to do his job and cart the ball up the next time.
Yeah, because he's a professional. You can't say that about many of them. That is simple.
And there's another try for the Saints. They seem to be scoring at will, do St Helens. And it was Greenwood again for his second try of the match. So Salford are falling apart and Saints are taking full and complete advantage.
The simplicity of the try. And again, pulling the hair. Why?
And right in front of the referee, that's his view of it.
And to me, he should have gone. You know, you can't afford to be doing that at a professional level. He should have got the yellow card as well.
Well, Steve, if you look at the quality from St Helens, if this is a boxing match, the boxing is all down to the combinations. So there's right cross, hook, jab, uppercut. They go long, they go short, and Salford simply do not know where the ball is going to go. And that young man learned his rugby, learned his trade just down the motorway for Saddleworth Rangers in Oldham, and he's been exceptional tonight.
Here to that. And I must say that they had a few problems running around in the mind of that man, Justin Harris. This has been a real shellacking.
So Percival to try and add 2 more points to that St Helens total. Ooh, and he's pulled it the wrong side of the posts. But they've hit the 40. Salford 6, Saints 40. Well, the closeness of the scorelines last weekend was the feature of the opening round. We've opened the second round, and this is, well, this could be anything between now and full time. At the moment it's a 34-point winning margin, and we still have 16.5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, a long time to go, and Kieran Cunningham really has to get the message out to his players. The worst thing that Saints players can do is start to shut down. This is where you could pick up the odd injury by not giving it 100%, just thinking in your mind and thinking that, you know, we've got a big World Cup challenge coming up next weekend. They've got to have that aggression still going to it, because if you just relax, that's where you can pull a muscle or just get a big hit in the ribs. They've got to keep going through their method, and they've been very, very professional tonight at Saints.
Well, we're talking about Saints in next week, and Bill has got some news for us.
Yes, just picking up on what Steve said about injuries, and on the sidelines, the Saints crew, Paul Wellens and co, are just watching everybody for any sign of anybody limping faintly at all, grimacing or anything like that. Tommy Makinson was just hobbling just for a brief moment, just a second or two ago. He's still not moving too finely, but Paul Wellens and co were looking at him. The physio went out, and Tommy Makinson waved him away and said it's nothing. But they must have that in their minds now. They've got this game in the bag. Let's just take it easy, not put anybody in the firing line unnecessarily.
Harrison Hansen will continue the battle for the Red Devils. He is the club captain after all. Tommy Lee in behind him at dummy half. And here is Theo Fage, and he finds Rangi Chase. Oh, he almost got the ball away, and he did get the ball away to John Wilkin. And Wilkin says, well, I'm maybe not as quick as Adam Swift, so let's give the youngster a go down that touchline. He does well to hold his legs up as he was being slid towards the sideline. Here is Jordan Turner.
And another error from Salford. It was an impossible ball from Rangi Chase.
Flanagan.
They'll just trundle it up. Roby will pick someone out.
Wilkin. Scampering run. Jordan Turner. Oh, he's stretched out. He's bounced the ball, I think. It's come back to Wilkin.
He's going to go upstairs, is Thaler.
I think this is a try.
Well, it was a fair old bounce, wasn't it?
Oh, he's given the try as well on the field. Well, he's guessed at the decision.
That's three.
I think
That's his best guess of a try. Now it's up to these two to turn it over if they can.
Well, it certainly bounces a long way, but it's been sent up as a try. Does Jordan Turner get the ball grounded correctly? See, his hand's going to be on top of the ball as it comes down. He just needs his hand on top of it. Well, I think there's enough there on the ball for that try to be awarded, especially as the try's already been sent up from the referee.
Is he short though?
No, I think he touches the line. He just has to touch the line with the ball. And I think that does that there. I think his hand's on the ball as that ball hits the ground.
It's a night of double tries if this is given. This will be a second try for Jordan Turner if he gets the green light. Remember, they have to be convinced that there is no try on evidence here, the two of them in the video ref box. Phil Bentham, Steve Ganson.
Well, I've not seen anything to say that it's definitely not a try, and you know they have to have conclusive proof that no try is being given. The referee's awarded the try already, or in his view it's a try, and there's part of the hand on the ball there as it goes down. I think that's good enough.
So the little pinky should come up with the TRY.
They need to both be convinced it was no try to turn it round. Let's see. Try's given. Tries given to Jordan Turner. It's 2 tries for him now. We've had 2 tries for Percival. We've had 2 tries for Greenwood. We've had 2 tries for Jordan Turner. And we've got 2 points going the way of the champions.
The night of the brace. And it's becoming ever so easy, isn't it? Just basic principle. That is poor defence. Gets it down. Not the best by Greg Johnson. Not the best by Rangi Chase either. Johnson went out, Turner went back on the inside. The official said it was A-OK with a pinky. The embarrassment continues for the Salford Red Devils.
Well, they struggled to cope Salford when they had 13 defenders. With 12 they've even got less chance, haven't they? St Helens are making a really good habit though, starting seasons well. Remember the beginning of last year, convincing win. It was a great kick there from the side out wide by Mark Percival. But a great win to start last season when they went to Warrington. We saw them impressive last week against Gatland. This will be their second win. You know, was it 8 wins in a row to begin last season? A fantastic start. Their pre-season training seems pretty impressive. It's well planned and it's working for them at present.
Well, Phil Kieran Cunningham talked after the match. He said, good teams win ugly. And you see Marwan Kukash, he's seen enough to go inside, get warm, gather his thoughts and think about where he thinks his side should go. Guessing Harris has got a big job with Salford to get them back into the right mindset for next week, or the week after, should I say. But I'll finish my point. Kieran Cunningham said they won ugly last week. Well, they've been absolutely outstanding tonight.
Yes, and they're scoring plenty of points, and they are not conceding many either. They've only conceded 2 tries this year so far. The World Club Series gets underway next Friday. Warrington St George Illawarra, 7:30 Sky Sports 1. Continues on Saturday when Wigan take on the Brisbane Broncos, also on Sky Sports 1, this time at 7:45. And on the Sunday, who will be kings of the world, Saints or Souths? 6:45 Sky Sports 1, you can find out. All 3 matches from the World Club Series 2015, the expanded World Club Series, is live right here. More St Helens news, Bill.
Yeah, they really are being very, very careful. Travis Burns, the latest player to come on. Nathan Mill, the Saints physio, really is working overtime, keeping an eye on everybody, because they just want to keep everybody wrapped up in cotton wool now. See this game out. So they've taken Travis Burns out of the firing line. Jordan Turner's come off as well, and it's just managing things, making sure nobody else picks up a faintest hint of a knock. Mind you, Salford have picked up 3 of those.
Yes, they have, and Theo Fage with the kick. It finds touch. Any other time you'd maybe be praising that kick, but is this the best tactic when they're 46-6 down?
Well, I think it's a little bit of frustration as well, you know, with the injury problems that Salford have had. The hooker Fage has really had to take control with Dobson going off. He's been taking first receiver. Rangi Chase has been running out wide of him. So it's a little bit extraordinary to find that Fage is having to be the man that's creative, and I think he just said to himself, listen, let's turn this Saints side around.
I think it's damage limitation. They just want to get to the end of the game alive, don't they? And 46 still about there. Keep the season and the hopes alive. So rip it up and start again here.
10 minutes to go. And St Helens will go into the World Club Series, the World Club Challenge against the Rabbitohs in fine fettle. They'll be confident. They've had 2 good hit-outs. They've scored plenty of points. They've not conceded many. Next week is the big test of the early season. And Gareth Hock in the sin bin is getting ready and warming up to return, doing a few miles on the bike. Ben Jones-Bishop operating at fullback now with Kevin Locke off the field.
A great chase, though. That would be pleasing for Kieran Cunningham.
You look down the list, Steve, I think you've made the point a couple of times already tonight with this Salford team. There are stars everywhere. It's just a question of somehow getting them to play together, gelling together, and winning a few matches. You get a few matches won, as they did towards the back end of last year, and you grow a little bit of confidence.
Yeah, and that is the operative word, you know, confidence is got. And that comes about not just by being able to create tries, but also to have a very solid defence. Look, 16 missed tackles in the first 40 minutes. You're never going to get into a game, never mind any chance of winning it.
Hock has returned, as you might have just seen, and so Salford back to a full complement. Chase will hoist the kick high, and he'll hair after it himself. Well claimed by Lomax. Under pressure from Josh Griffin, but he got to it first, made it his.
He's had a fine game at fullback. Lomax is, especially in the first half, when his introduction into the centres.
Here they come again. Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook.
Not often you see a prop forward going out on the left-hand wing, is it?
Roby's off the field, making sure he's going to be okay for next week. Thompson goes down under that challenge from 3.
Yeah, Roby is a key player next week. You're right, Eddie. And it's a good move by Cunningham to make sure that he's A-OK. We haven't seen much running from dummy half from that fella today. He hasn't needed to. He's just controlled things. But we'll see a lot more from him next week. That is for sure. That is the one way that we can take on South, and that is to run from the dummy half position.
High kick here from Wilkin. Oof. Knocked forward again by Caton Brown. More pressure coming in from St Helens.
Well, we see Mason Caton Brown attempting to take this high kick. There's all kinds of shuffling going on. Kevin Locke obviously left the field with that injury. And you mentioned Jordan Wall, the number 17, the big fella, started in the back row tonight. I think he's playing in the centre. I think he's having to defend that far out wide. Mason Caton Brown, along with Ben Jones-Bishop, everybody shuffling around just to plug the holes, plug the gaps and stop the water from flooding the ship.
Well, you more or less anticipate that Saints will do again a set pattern move. Will it go blindside? No, they come open.
With Lomax, who finds Percival. And they get him down, but again, very close to the Salford line. Makinson is there. He's going on his own, is Makinson. He's trying to burrow his way underneath Fage and Josh Griffin. Televay. Nothing doing there. That's 3 tackles gone now. Mark Flanagan waits. 10 metres away. Threw the ball to the ground. Oh, it was knocked on by Ben Jones-Bishop, was it? It was. It's going to be scrum, head and feed to Saints.
It's been an amazing 12 months for Televay. We're seeing Pack down in the second row. You know, he came over and played 23 games. He just played the ball there for London Broncos last year, which was more than he played in a 5-year career in the NRL. Bounced through in 3 different clubs, but didn't get that many first-team opportunities. Must be delighted here now that he's managed to get to the home of the champions and gets to play in a World Club Challenge match. I guess if you went back a year, you would never have dreamt he would have this opportunity, and you know, good luck to him. I think he worked very hard last year in London, and he deserves what he gets here now with the Saints side.
Wilkin gets the ball away to Greenwood. Greenwood trying to plunder another for himself and for the Saints. Coming up to 5 minutes on the watch to go. And Savelio, who scored last week, always sniffing the opportunity of a try, is Andre Savelio. And Flanagan is there. And back it comes from Flanagan to Amor. Amor then to Wilkin. And a chance. He is over the line, is Luke Thompson, but held up.
Tackle 3.
So third tackle is held up. They'll take the ball back 10 metres. The tackle count will resume.
3 on the 10.
Well, there's a few out there on a hat-trick, Eddie. And that's what I think they're trying to get sorted out.
Ready? Go, 3.
Amor just stumbled into that challenge.
Down the line, Tommy. Go.
Flanagan gets the ball away. Wilkin then to Savelio again, and they get him down before he can release the ball. That's a quick play, the ball. Flanagan, and Flanagan going on his own. Just stopped right next to the post, and that is the turnover.
Yeah, not a bad option. I know that Salford are completely done, and they know their defence is solid enough, and I don't think that Salford are capable of a breakaway within their own red zone.
Steve-O, the young Frenchman should not be taking that first carry there. The ball gets handed over. Started the game on the bench. He's played at 9 and at 7, and Theo Fage should not be starting with tackle 1 with a hit up.
3 release, 10 metres, boys, come on.
No, that's the job of people like Harrison Hansen, who took that tackle.
Shoulder.
And Adam Waln tries to spin his way out of trouble.
The biggest problem for Justin Harris is trying to find a combination where, okay, I know that they've been disrupted by so many injuries, but you know, they really haven't. Oh, that's shocking. They went backwards. Oh, he got away with it. It's not been a good night for handling.
It's the last tackle here.
Play on, still 5.
And Rangi Chase, has he heard the call? Well, he has.
They've got that many things to work on. I don't know where you'd start, do you?
I think you could say from the bottom of the barrel, and he may be the person to suggest that they start from the bottom of the barrel. It has not been a classy performance by a long way.
They haven't performed well when they've been on Sky Sports. A lot of the television games, when the hype's been built up around them and the attention's intensified, they've failed to deliver because they're not as bad as what they've played tonight.
And remember 5 years ago when we were at the Willows, when they beat the Saints by 42 points to 34. That was a great night. It really was. Fabulous night. But we've not seen them at their best. Well, certainly last year and here tonight.
Line here, boys. Line here. Line. Go.
Namor went without it, but the ball went backwards.
The biggest problem for Salford, and perhaps their supporters, they would be very silly to think that because of those injuries, that is the reason why they're being hammered, Eddie.
Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook. That was a good tackle, actually. Very good tackle there. Caton Brown involved, and also Johnson. Crossfield kick. Plucked out of the air by Percival. Brilliantly keeps the movement going. Savelio gets his second try in as many weeks. Andre Savelio. First ever try for Saints last Friday. Formerly with the Latchford Albion club in Warrington, an ex-England under-16 and under-18 international. And it just rubs the final little bit of salt into the wounds of the Salford Red Devils.
Simple, basic. Wilkin has been on song with the high bomb tonight. What a great take, wasn't it? Then the offload, then the fend. Savelio, he's enjoying this, Savelio. Trying the first two games. What a take.
Well, that's a special try for the Savelio household. His father gave great service, Lucio. Great service to clubs like Widnes, Workington, but spent a lot of time here at Salford, and it'd be a special occasion, a special moment in that young man's career.
You can see it written on the faces of the Salford players. They're despondent. They know that they're been absolutely ripped apart tonight. But there's been quite a few of the problems that they brought upon themselves, I'm afraid. Bad handling, poor tackling.
Percival adds 2 more points to the total, and the champions have gone past the half century. It's 52 St Helens, 6 Salford.
Yeah, it's been an impressive performance by St Helens, and their coach will be very, very pleased about it. Also be pleased about the fact that hopefully they haven't picked up any injuries. And there it is, that's it, it's the end.
Well, the Salford fans are anything but happy, but the St Helens supporters are delighted. They're delighted with the new boys like Tella Bay. They're delighted with the youngsters like Mark Percival, Adam Swift. Percival, 20 points in the match, for instance. And John Wilkin, well, the new skipper has yet to be on the losing side with the armband. Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook, with a try. And they've completely outclassed the opposition tonight. There he is. Big points haul for Mark Percival, 20 from 2 tries and 6 goals. And well, they go forward to next week when they take the World Club Challenge in their stride. For Salford, there is an awful lot of work to do.
Greenwood fully deserved it. A tremendous opening 30 minutes that we had from him.
Yes, Joe Greenwood is the man of the match, and he's talking to Bill.
Joe, 2 tries. This season has started off like a dream for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, like it's unbelievable. Like going through pre-season and all the cold weather that you go through, and then you come out playing. That's all you want to do. Just get back playing. and obviously like we kicked on and obviously got the win out. Then we can move on to next week now. Look forward to next week.
Can you remember anything of your tries in the game? Just have a think.
No, it's just come past the parcel with game. You just carry on, just all the way through to 80 minutes. You don't really think about any of that. You just get your job done, and that's what you need to do.
Going into this game, a lot of people anticipating a really fired up Salford side. I mean, they gave Warrington a run for the money last week. Were you at all apprehensive about what you were going to be up against here?
Well, we knew it was going to be difficult through the middle, so we had to stand up to that. And I thought the pack did well, and obviously the backs did their part as well. And obviously we came out with a win, which is good. And then obviously we can move on to next week, and all the confidence that we'll bring from this game we'll take into next week. So
well done tonight, Joe.
Cheers. Thank you.
Well, let's bring in the coach, Kieran Cunningham. Put Joe Greenwood into a side like this, and he looks as though he's perfectly at home.
He's a super kid, and we've got a great production line at St Helens, and Joe's been there or thereabouts for a couple of years, and he's there from just rewards. You know what he's done in pre-season. I always knew he was going to be a superstar, and I don't want to bum him up too much, with him being a young boy, but he's played quite a few years in Super League now, and this year is going to be Joe Greenwood's year, and I've said it from the start, and a lot of people are going to start believing me now.
Week before a World Club Challenge game, you've put 50 points on a side that could have caused you problems. That's got to be pretty good going.
Yeah, I'm over the moon with the performance. The second half performance was, that's as good as our Wigan friendly first half performance. I think if we would have played how we did in the second half in the first half, I think we would have got control of the game a lot earlier.
So, I don't want to be picky, but if you'd kicked the goals, it could have been even better. Is that a concern at all?
Slightly. I mean, we're working hard in training, and everybody's holding their hands up, and Mark Percival probably strikes the ball the best, but Travis Burns wanted a shot. He was a high percentage goal kicker at Hull KR last year, so we give Travis a go, and hopefully in a couple of weeks' time we'll get Luke Walsh back, who's going to be our consistent goal kicker, and he turns them fours into six more times than not.
That is being picky, isn't it?
Very.
Thanks, Kieran.
Oh, cheers, thanks.
Iestyn Harris has kindly joined us, which must be tricky after a disappointment like that, because everybody was, I think, anticipating better than that from your side.
Yeah, absolutely, myself included. Bitterly disappointed. Congratulate Saints and how well they played and how fantastic they were, but for us, the attitude wasn't there tonight, and we got beaten in every department, and unfortunately there's only one place to look, and that's the mirror, and everyone in this club has got to do that and transform this around, because it's only early in the year. We've got a long way to go, but certainly bitterly disappointed.
And yet, I mean, you started off like an express train. If you'd kept your composure at times in that first half, certainly you had Saints on the rails.
Yeah, I think that's a big word, composure. We didn't have any composure in any area of the game tonight, whether it be defensively or offensively. We looked frantic, and you just can't do that against any side, but a side that are the champions, you just can't do that. You'll get exposed all over the place, and that's exactly what happened.
Iestyn, thank you for talking to me.
Cheers.
Well, it must be very tough to come out and talk after a hammering like that, but a very honest appraisal from Iestyn Harris.